What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back with another one. People, in today's video, we want to discuss three matters. Three short matters, but three effective matters, right? These are going to be Pieter Kriel, the Orania situation, and the Afrikaners who are in America. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, we family, right? Holler. People, I don't claim to be on the left, and I don't claim to be on the right. All I care about is good governance, good policies, good management, and good people. Now, Pieter Kriel is a rising star on the left, and he says a lot of sensible things, and he says a lot of stuff that resonates with me, right? Julius Malema also says a lot of things that make sense. The tonality may be wrong, but a lot of things that he says actually makes a lot of sense. Helen Zeller, John Steenhuisen, the Freedom Front Plus, they make a lot of sense. AfriForum, they also make a lot of sense. And I agree with the things that seem logical that either side says. So I'm not left, I'm not pro-left, I'm not pro-right. I'm pro whatever makes sense, whatever is logical, whatever can move the needle, whatever can move South Africa forward. That's what I'm all about. I'm not about a certain political party or a certain agenda. I'm about the right agenda. So, if it means, for example, that a right-wing party brings out the best policies or the best rhetoric or the best solutions to what the country, the continent has, then for me that's all that matters, right? I'm not just going to say to you, right, I strictly only vote for the DA. Even if the DA is wrong, I'm going to vote for them. No, I'm not going to do none of that. So what we're going to do, we actually have to look at policies that are being implemented. We look at the manifestos, we look at the direction in which they want to take the country, and we look at the alliances that want to be formed, right? For me, a sticking point, for example, would be any party that aligns itself with Israel, for example. I may like the party's policies domestically and everything like that, right? And now, because I live in South Africa, they're going to be ruling South Africa, so I will rule for that. I will vote for that party, right? Because of the rhetoric, the manifesto, and the direction in which they're campaigning, right? But then if that same party that I'm going to vote for aligns itself with Israel and America, for example, then I'll have an issue with that because I do not align with Israel and America's policies. But that doesn't mean to say that the party that's going to rule South Africa, I'm objecting to, if that makes any sense. So having said that, I've been listening a lot to Pieter Kriel, and he makes a whole lot of sense for a 21-year-old. I mean, he reasons like a person who's in his 40s. And it's amazing to see young white Afrikaner men beginning to think differently, thinking out of the box, deconstruct, and to de-educate, unlearn what racist policies they were taught. And this goes for both sides, by the way, because we know that Afrikaner people have this exclusivity thing about them because they are huge. They are big on cultural preservation, which is not a bad thing. You can still intermingle, you can still mix, you can still what's the word you can still there's a word I was trying to look for. You can still meet someone halfway, right? Let's put it that way. You can still meet people halfway and still preserve your culture. But with Afrikaner people, it's not the case, right? In most cases, they are stern, they are harsh, they are strong on their cultural beliefs. Hence, the real fundamentalists have gone ahead and pushed for Orania and stuff like that, right? So we know that, and that's a fact. So we cannot deny that. It's a good thing, not a bad thing at all. It's a good thing. But within that cultural preservation, you can make space and place for other cultures to coexist. You don't have nobody's a silo. No nation is a silo. You cannot operate in silos. But the Afrikaner people feel like they can operate in silos. And like Orania is proving that they can operate in silos. Now what I liked about Pieter Kriel is that he actually admits that he was taught these racist things, and he grew up in that environment, which we all kind of have our own biases towards other races, right? So it's also fair to say that me too, coming from a colored community, I also have these racist people in our communities that refuse to mix with other races. I come from that community too. You understand what I mean? It's up to you, the individual, to say, okay, what I've learned and what I now know are two different things. What I was taught and what I see are two different things. It's for you, the individual, to think, okay, which is best for me? And at that juncture, it becomes a choice whether to continue being a racist or whether to conform or to transform, right? So that's on Pieter Kriel, right? And I think he's a young, brilliant upstart, and I really think that with the mentality that he has, he's definitely going to be going forward and in leaps and bounds at that. So, and I think he'll be a bright prospect for any parties on the left, center left, or even on the right, even though his policies are more, I think, center left, you know. And he's big on anti-racism, so I really like that about him, you know. I really do like that about him. So that's on Pieter Kriel, right? Now let's go to Orania. Pieter Kriel said in an interview with, I think it was DJ Sbo on the Hustle's Corner, right? He said Afrikaners want so much exclusivity that they formed Orania, and then there was a murder that happened within Orania. I think her husband killed his wife and a child. I wasn't sure if it's a daughter or a son. So when he said that, it shocked me, because the reason why Orania was formed was to preserve Afrikaner culture, because other cultures are not like their culture, and the crime and all that. But then you have one of your own killing his own family. Could you imagine if it was a black person who had killed that white family? Then there would be justification for the construction or the establishment of Orania. But now, since it's their own, who did it in Orania, is there justification for Orania? That's a question, right? That's a deep question. What does that say about the Afrikaner people now? Because, and then there was another guy, I can't remember his name, but in this case, he blamed the gardener for killing his wife, was it girlfriend, with an axe, and the gardener refuted those claims. And later on, the police went back to arrest the boyfriend or the husband who murdered his girlfriend with an axe. So, you see what I mean? It's troubling that the very people who claim to be moving away from black people and colored people and other cultures and other races are they themselves now causing harm within their own communities and their own cultures. So that really doesn't make sense on any level at all, right? Next comes the Afrikaner people that are in America. So I've seen so many TikTok videos, right? And these videos, it's I don't know if it's troubling. I don't know if it's exciting. I don't know if I should be happy. I don't know if I should be sad. I don't know how to react to this, right? I really don't know how to react to this. The Afrikaners in America are not complaining that they have to speak English all the time. Now, I don't understand. If you decided that you want to take up refugee status in America, what language were you planning on speaking once you got to America? You spent so many years preserving yourself, your culture, and your language that you refused to speak English because, number one, it's not your language, it's not your culture. I totally get it. Number two, I think the animosity between the Afrikaner and the British or the English, it still persists to this very day because there's that celebration that the Afrikaner people celebrate every year. I think the Battle of Blood River. I'm not sure. There's the Anglo-Boer War as well, where they finally defeated the British. After that whole tragic concentration camp that the British had set up for the Afrikaners, where apparently 30,000, is it 25,000 or 30,000 Afrikaners were killed or in that Anglo-Boer War. So there's still that tension, and that also gave them the impetus not to learn that English language as well, right? But now you are in America. Now you're forced to learn that very language that you really just despised, Now you want to come back. Now you see that the grass is not green on the other side. Now you realize that you lied. Now they find out that you lied, that you were not a farmer. You just found a gap and you took it. You left a comfortable life in South Africa hoping to get a more comfortable life in America. And then you see that it's not as comfortable as you thought it would be. I don't know, dude. With the Afrikaans people, it's a bit difficult to, not even a little bit, it's a lot difficult because Afrikaner people have their own indoctrination. They have their own way of thinking, doing things. Everything must be done the Afrikaner way. So everything stems from and goes to becoming what they call a boer. When you say a boer, it's not just a term or word. It's actually a being. You know what I mean? For you to say you're Afrikaans alone is not enough. You have to be a boer. That comes in traits. That comes with characteristics, traits, mannerisms, attitude. It comes with a whole lot of stuff. So for you to just say, well, I speak Afrikaans and that's enough. No, it's not enough. You got to toil the soil. You got to toil. You got to rugby. You got to cricket. You got to be the culture. You got to immerse yourself in the culture, totally in the culture. And I must say, I admire the Afrikaner people for that. They have a very strong culture, and it's something really to admire if you if you're not familiar with Afrikaans culture, I really like it. I truly, really, really, really admire them for that, you know. But now, you see, the reason I made this video is just to show you that there's holes, there's cracks, there's faults, there's flaws in the Afrikaans community. The nice thing about it is that they try to hide, to conceal, to minimize any faults, any cracks, any flaws. They try their best to come across as a united front. And for the most part, I think it works, you know. But judging by the number of Afrikaner people in the country, around the country, to those who have formed your Oranias and your Fontaines and stuff like that, I feel like not every Afrikaner person shares in that exclusivity value chain, you know. I feel like a lot of them feel more of a liberal kind of lifestyle way, if I should put it that way. They don't want to just be, you know, Afrikaans only, and you know. And a lot of women, I've seen a lot of women and some men as well, have come out on TikTok saying that as Afrikaner people, we need to stop this racist attitude and this being exclusive for only, and they preferring to be more open, more humble, because that's the direction the world is moving. And you being an exclusive community in a small little corner by yourselves, that's not the way of the world. So the world is evolving, everyone is evolving, except the fundamentalist Afrikaner people. So yeah, that's my video take for the day, you know. Just wanted to shed light on that, you know, give my 2 cents on that issue. Let me know what you think about this video. Was I on the money, or did I totally miss it with this one? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we family, right? Holla.